Lakini vile vile mwanamwajimui huyu Hage Geingob aliweza kuondoka nchini Namibia na kuelekea nchini Botswana na kujiunga na wananchi wengine ambao walikuwa wakipigania uhuru wa nchi ya Namibia, na ilipofika mwaka 1990 basi aliteuliwa kuwa waziri mkuu wa kwanza wa nchi ya Namibia.
The pallbearers for today as well as for tomorrow, walking alongside the casket.
The program is running almost bang on time, so they've kept the time management has been done very well.
Impeccable timing. President Geingob was also very serious about punctuality.
Yes.
It's one of the key features of his character. Punctuality was non-negotiable.
Yes.
And his casket arrives almost on the hour, not without significance.
Yes. The program said 2 o'clock. Indeed, it is slightly a minute past 2, and the program is about to get underway.
Apart from the Prime Minister, the Minister of Defence and Veterans Affairs, Frans Kopoffi, will also direct the proceedings this afternoon.
Yes, so he will be a co-director. Yes. In fact, this glass container, if you will, is something new. Previously, when we've had state funerals, the casket has just been placed on the gun carriage. But here, it's been placed in a glass container. And I guess because the procession yesterday went through the whole of it.
Mtazamaji, hivi sasa mwili umeshawasili ambao umesindikizwa na gwaride la heshima kutoka nchini Namibia, na kinachoendelea hivi sasa, punde wataushusha kutoka kwenye gari ambalo lilibeba hayati Dr. Hage Geingob, aliyekuwa rais wa 3 wa nchini Namibia. Hapo awali nilikugusia kwamba viongozi mbalimbali kutoka mataifa mbalimbali barani Afrika wataweza kushiriki ibada maalum ya kumwombea hayati Hage Geingob. Lakini pia Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, Rais Samia Suluhu Hassan, ataungana pamoja na marais 18 ambao wako madarakani kuweza kushiriki ibada hiyo maalum. Lakini nikukumbushe pia Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, rais mstaafu wa awamu ya 4, ameshawasili hapo. Ukitazama vizuri utaona picha ambayo rais mstaafu wa awamu ya 4 alikuwa ameketi. Pembeni yake yupo katibu mkuu wa Chama cha Mapinduzi Abdurrahman Kinana. Mtazamaji, hapo ni uwanja wa Uhuru Windhoek nchini Namibia. Wananchi mbalimbali wamejitokeza pamoja na viongozi mbalimbali kwenda kwa ajili ya kushiriki ibada maalum ya hayati Hage Geingob. Bado naona wale usindikiza mwili wanafanya utaratibu maalum wa kuweza kuushusha mwili.
Came out in their thousands to bid him farewell.
And we do know that yesterday, of course, was a public holiday for the schools. And we saw a number of school pupils some of them dressed in school uniform, also lining up to say goodbye to their president.
Yes, in fact, yesterday was a school holiday, so learners and young students didn't go to school yesterday, so they were able and encouraged to come out and bid a farewell to their president.
Not a single person may be left out, as per his mantra. He was the people's president, he was everyone's president, whether you're young or old. Many elderly also lining the streets to bid their president farewell. Casket being placed on the stand, from where it will be taken to where it will stand during the proceedings, and most probably where it will remain as it will lie in state during the course of the night until tomorrow, when the remains will be taken to Heroes Acre.
Mtazamaji, kinachoendelea hivi sasa katika uwanja wa Uhuru huko Windhoek nchini Namibia ni mwili umetolewa katika gari maalum ambayo ilikuwa imembeba hayati Dr. Hage Geingob, na kwa heshima na taratibu za nchi hiyo basi wameweka hapo na kupeleka sehemu maalum ambayo ilikuwa imeandaliwa kwa utaratibu na heshima wa nchi hiyo.
Hage Geingob, coming to you from Windhoek's Independence Stadium, where the memorial service is just about to get underway very, very shortly. There have been several foreign heads of state and government who are already here. They will also be giving their tributes. The family has already made his way here, as well as the widow and the
Kakengos, right behind the chief mourner. Ambassador Leonard Ipumbu, chief of protocol, making sure that all protocols are followed as the coffin is moved to where it will be positioned for the memorial service. The pallbearers are also still alongside the procession. Everyone at the stadium, of course, standing at the moment as a sign, as a symbol of respect. The commitment remains to give the late Dr. Hage Geingob a very dignified send-off. And so far, we have to acknowledge that Namibians have been pulling in the same direction as they honor, as they pay tribute, as they pay homage to their late president. There's also a large delegation of international media present in the country.
Yes, yes, indeed. Especially, I think it's worth noting that only the NBC will be allowed to carry the signal. So all other stations, television stations, etc., if they want the proceedings, they will have to
remain intact and are adhered to.
Yes, yes, indeed. In fact, the embassy is to be commended because they have put a massive. This is the former First Lady Monica Kengos. As I was saying, the embassy is really to be commended because they've pulled off an incredible operation, which has gone very smoothly so far, and honestly on a par with international standards, on a par with the best of them out there.
I have to concur with you.
Yes.
The founding president, next to what we see on screen, the First Lady, Madam Siski Mbumba.
Founding father. The civilian pallbearers will now take their place. One of them is Venani, McHenry Venani, who is the leader of the official opposition. And he considered President Geingob as his older brother. And of course, Alpheus Nariseb, and the son of Dr. Geingob, Mangaliso.
The Vice President.
Yes, and the Vice President.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Vice
John
Prime
Botora.
Minister. Yeah, John Botora.
Yes, as well as Alpheus Nariseb.
I would like
And retired politician Ben Amatila is also, of course, one of the pallbearers.
Yes.
remain standing for the
Who was also, Ben Amadila was also part of the Constituent Assembly together with Dr. Geingob. And this is the president of Ethiopia, just arriving on your screens now.
You may please take your seats. I would like to acknowledge the arrival of His Excellency.
Mtazamaji, umetoka kusikia hapo wimbo wa taifa wa Namibia, na watu walikuwa wamesimama kama heshima chini Namibia, lakini baada ya wimbo huo kumalizika wakaketi. Nikukumbushe tu viongozi wastaafu kutoka bara la Afrika ambao wameshawasili katika uwanja huo wa Uhuru ni Rais mstaafu wa Liberia Johnson Sirleaf, lakini vile vile Olusegun Obasanjo, lakini pia na Joseph Kabila, na kutoka Tanzania ni Rais
Retired General Ndaitwa, Honorable Professor Peter Kachavivi, Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Lucas Nimbo Muha, Chairperson of the National Council, and Madam Muha, Your Lordship Peter Shivute, Chief Justice, and Judge Shivute, Honorable John Mutorwa, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works and Transport, and Madam Mutorwa, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Sophia Shaningwa, Secretary General of the SWAPO Party, Honorable McHenry Venani, Leader of the Official Opposition, and Madam Venani, veterans of the National Liberation Struggle, Honorable Laura McLeod Kashirwa, Governor of the Commerce Region, and all other governors present here, Your Worship Queen Kamati, Mayor of the City of Windhoek, and all other mayors present here, Chief Emmanuel Gaseb, Chairperson of the Council of Traditional Leaders, and other traditional leaders present, distinguished service chiefs, Bishop Emeritus Dr. Zephania Kameta, retired Reverend Bishop, and other members of the clergy, fellow Namibians, I extend greetings to you all. May I, before I proceed with the statement, recognize the arrival of His Excellency, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo. You are welcome, Your Excellency. I understand Her Excellency, the President of Ethiopia, also arrived, and we warmly welcome her. Welcome, Your Excellency. On the 4th of February 2024, Namibia woke up to the very sad news of the passing on of our President, His Excellency Dr. Hage Gottfried Geingob. Since then, the Namibian nation has been grappling with the tremendous pain and sorrow that followed the sudden departure of our President. The shock of Dr. Geingob's sudden passing reverberated across the world, generating an outpouring of messages of sympathy and expressions of acknowledgement of Dr. Geingob in the various capacities that he has served, not only here at home, but regionally, continentally, and also globally. Today, as we move closer to taking our departed president to his final resting place, we are comforted by the large outturn of mourners from across our country and the globe who have joined us to memorialize him one last time before we escort him to his final resting place tomorrow. I would like to recognize and appreciate the presence of heads of state and government, leaders of international organizations, and individuals from outside Namibia who are here today, as well as the messages of condolences and other support provided to us during this difficult period of mourning our departed president. Your support has been a source of strength to us. The late Dr. Hage Geinkop's leadership was shaped by and during the struggle for our nation's independence, which he joined at a youthful age and to which he dedicated his full youth. The leadership of SWAPO as a national liberation movement spotted the exceptional leadership qualities and his passion for serving his people, and so they mentored him, entrusting him with different important responsibilities, all of which he discharged with diligence and commitment. His tasks ranged from representing SWAPO of Namibia at the United Nations to mobilize international support for our struggle for national independence, heading the United Nations Institute for Namibia in Lusaka, Zambia, where Namibian future leaders and administrators were being molded in preparations for self-governance after independence, leading the first SWAPO delegation from exile to come to Namibia to participate in the UN-supervised elections that led to our independence, being the director of elections for SWAPO, chairing the Constituent Assembly that authored our Constitution, and being the founding Prime Minister, and then our third President, a task which he performed until the 4th of February 2024, when death robbed him from us. Dr. Geinkop built on the foundation set by the founding President, Dr. Sam Nujoma, who is with us here, and the second President, Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, also with us here, who are his mentors and predecessors, both at the party and at the government. It is appropriate at this time, therefore, to applaud their excellencies Dr. Sam Nujoma, founding president and father of the Namibian nation, and Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, the second president, who mentored the late Dr. Hage Geinkop into these roles and entrusted him with responsibilities that developed his talents, enabling him to become the effective, passionate leader that he was. Although we are deeply saddened by the passing of Dr. Geinkop, we are comforted by the knowledge that his legacy will continue and will be a source of inspiration for us to continue to strive towards this destination of a prosperous and inclusive Namibia that respects the rule of law, democracy, and peaceful coexistence with other nations around the world, values that he cherished. The words of Bill Gates that, and I quote, "As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others," close quote, best describe Dr. Hage Geinkop's belief in talent utilization and his strong pursuit for strong systems, processes, and institutions as pillars of a strong Namibian house. Your Excellencies, fellow Namibians, today, as we bid farewell to Dr. Hage Geinkop, it is befitting that we appreciate the family of Dr. Geinkop, the widow, the children, and the entire extended family for surrendering him to the service of the people of Namibia and taking a back seat, and for supporting him in all his public duties. And we extend to them heartfelt sympathies and condolences once more. My name is Sarah Kugongerwa Amadira, Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, and shall serve as Director of Ceremonies, assisted by Honorable Franz Kapofi, the Minister of Defense and Veterans Affairs. Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Mbuba, President of the Republic of Namibia, and Chief Mona and Madam Bumba, Your Excellency, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, Your Excellencies, the founding president and the second president, Madam Monica Geinkos, the widow of our departed president, the children and the family. Since the news of the passing on of our beloved president, Dr. Hage Geinkop, As a nation, we have received several visits and messages to console the family and the nation. At this juncture, allow me to acknowledge with appreciation the following dignitaries who have joined us in celebrating the life of our departed president and to memorialize him. They are as follows. They come from the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, the People's Republic of China, the Republic of the Congo, Côte d'Ivoire, the Republic of Cuba, the Arab Republic of Egypt, the Republic of Equatorial Guinea, the Republic of Eswatini, the Kingdom of Eswatini, France, the State of Kuwait, the Republic of Madagascar, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Portugal, Qatar, the Republic of Rwanda, the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic, the Republic of Senegal, the Republic of Serbia, the Kingdom of Spain, the Republic of Uganda, the United Kingdom, United States of America, the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, and countries that are represented at ambassadorial levels, as well as international organizations include the Commonwealth of Australia, the Federal State of Austria, the People's Republic of Bangladesh, the Kingdom of Belgium, the Federative Republic of Brazil, Canada, the Republic of Ireland, the Republic of Korea, the Republic of Liberia, Republic of Mauritius, the Kingdom of Morocco, the Kingdom of Norway, the Palestine State, the Republic of Seychelles, the Republic of Singapore, the Kingdom of Sweden, the Kingdom of Thailand. The regional organizations include the head of the African Union Commission, the Secretary General of the UN, the Southern African Development Community, SADC, the head of the Commonwealth, and other international and regional organizations, which include the African Peer Review Mechanism, the International Organization for Migration, SADC Elimination Aid, SADC Parliamentary Forum, SADC Mission in Mozambique, and United Nations World Tourism Organization. We appreciate very much your presence to condole with us and to celebrate the life of our departed president. And we appreciate...
Mtazamaji, ni kukumbushe tu bado unaendelea kufuatilia matangazo mbashara ambayo tumejiunga na chombo cha shirika la utangazaji la Namibia NBC, ambapo viongozi kutoka mataifa mbalimbali wamewasili hapo kwa ajili ya ibada maalum ya hayati Dr. Hage Geingob, na miongoni mwa viongozi ambao wameweza kuwasili hapo ni viongozi kutoka China, Kongo, Cuba, Singapore, Ukraine pamoja na Umoja wa Falme za Kiarabu. Lakini vile vile kwa upande wa viongozi wa Namibia, rais wa kwanza wa Namibia Dr. Sam Nujoma, ambaye yeye pia ni baba wa taifa la Namibia. Lakini rais mstaafu wa awamu ya pili pia ameweza kuwasili hapo, ambaye anaitwa Hifikepunye Pohamba. Lakini pia rais wa sasa wa nchi hiyo wa Namibia anaitwa Nangolo Mbumba ameweza kuwasili hapo kwa ajili ya ibada maalum itakayofanyika katika uwanja wa Uhuru. Na makamu wa rais pia wa Namibia Netumbo Ndaitwah pia ameweza kuwasili katika uwanja wa Uhuru na kusubiri ibada maalum kwa ajili ya hayati Dr. Hage Geingob.
Grace unto you, sisters and brothers, and consolation inside and outside. And that means the wiping of the tears from the heart and the wiping of the tears from the eyes. And peace from the one who was, who is now here, and who is to come. Amen. Dear sisters and brothers, the widow, the children, the bereaved family, the crying Namibia, and the whole world, I want to read for you the second letter of St. Paul to his son in faith, Timothy, chapter 4, only 3 verses, 6 and 7. And it reads as follows. Our late president. But he made sure that the past is not carried into the present in the oppression, division. In the words of the apostle, the son of the soil, Hage Gottfried Geinkop, finished the race. Not on a smooth, athletic track, as it is here on Independence Avenue, but he finished the race on thorns. And he was running for the cause of justice, liberation, and peace among hyenas, tigers, lions, and snakes. And he didn't quit. He never quit. He didn't waver. But he kept the faith in his Lord Jesus Christ. He was a committed church member. But in that, he embraced all people, all the faith. And he kept the vision for a Namibia or a Namibian house, in which no one will feel or experience being left out. Yes, indeed, where our recognizing our differences. We have differences. We speak different languages. We look different from each other. And we belong to different political parties and church denominations. But this should be seen as a garden of flowers. And if the flowers are only red in the garden, it won't look so beautiful. But red, yellow, white, whatever you have, that's how we should see Namibia. And not only Namibia again, but the whole world. And live in unity and peace. Why? For development and prosperity. Our president's vision for unity, justice, and peace was not only for Namibia, but for the whole world. And especially these days and this time, where leaders in this world are still talking of the East and the West and the North and the South, instead of talking of one family, of the one house called planet Earth. It's shocking that people will go and throw a bomb in another country. But if you do that, will there be peace in your own country? Dear sisters and brothers, we are now left behind with a memory. That's all. We are not left behind with the memory, which is more valuable than the wealth of this world. And this memory, sisters and brothers, is a memory of what he was always saying. One Namibian house. Pulling together in the same direction, not in different directions. And no one should feel left out. This memory must not just be a memory and the reason for unending useless speeches, but it should be a memory, sisters and brothers, your excellencies, which must be put in action, in concrete deeds. Here in Namibia, but all over the whole world. May the soul of Dr. Hage Gottfried Keinkop rest in eternal peace. And his inspiring memory console all of us, but especially our mother, Monica Keinkos, the children, the whole family, and the whole world. And now, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship and unity of the Holy Spirit be with us all. In the name of God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Mtazamaji, umetoka kumwangalia, huyu alikuwa ni Dr. Zafenia Kamita ambaye alikuwa akitoa mistari miwili mitatu kutoka kwenye kitabu kitakatifu cha Biblia. Lakini Rais Samia pia ameshawasili katika uwanja huo wa Uhuru, na kama picha yake utaiona kwa hapo baadaye, basi pembeni yake yuko rais wa Malawi Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, na hapa studio inaye Ramadhani Mpenda. Karibu sana.
Asante Salma. Ni siku nzito sana kwa taifa la Namibia.
Kabisa.
Kwa sababu hawa ni wenzetu katika ile jumuiya ya maendeleo ya nchi za kusini mwa Afrika. Wana ushirikiano mkubwa karibu sana na Tanzania na mataifa mengine. Kwa tukio hili la leo ambalo ni kumbukumbu ya kitaifa sasa. Tangu kifo chake kilitokea Februari 4, rais huyu wa 3 wa Namibia, Dr. Hage Geingob, ambaye kiukweli anakumbukwa zaidi na taifa lake la Namibia, na ukizingatia Namibia ni kwamba imekuwa na mchango mkubwa katika ile jumuiya ya SADC. Na ndio maana unaona katika viongozi wengi wa SADC wapo kule. Rais Samia yupo kule. Rais mstaafu Dr. Jakaya Kikwete yupo kule. Marais wa nchi jirani zile za SADC wapo kule. Na ni rais wa Afrika Kusini aliwapongeza Namibia kwa namna walivyoweza kuchukua ule utaratibu wa kisiasa wa kubadilishana madaraka baada ya kifo cha Dr. Geingob Februari 4. Kwa kweli hakuchukua muda mrefu, wakafanya mabadiliko ya uongozi. Ni kama hivyo tokea kwa Tanzania. Ni mifano ambayo nadhani kwa Afrika tukiendelea namna hii demokrasia ile inazidi kuongezeka. Lakini kwa leo ni siku nzito sana kwa Namibia, kwa sababu hata ile namna ilivyotokea utulivu ulikuwa mkubwa sana nchini Namibia pale. Na utakumbuka kwamba hata marais, huyu ni rais wa 4, rais wa 3 kwa Namibia. Ukianzia na baba wa taifa la ambao leo yupo katika shughuli ile, Samuel Joma, Hifikepunye Pohamba, akafuatia Geingob, sasa ni huyu Nangolo Mbumba, ni rais wa 4. Aliyefariki ni rais wa 3 Dr. Geingob. Ukweli ni kwamba ni siku nzito sana kwa raia wa Namibia, na zaidi anakumbukwa kwa namna alivyoweza kushiriki katika ujenzi wa uchumi wa nchi yao, kukuza demokrasia ambayo imeonekana katika mbadilishano wa ule uongozi. Kwa kweli bado ni siku nzito, tusubiri kinachoendelea, na sisi tuendelea kuwafahamisha watu yale yanaendelea kutokea uwanja wa Uhuru katika mji mkuu wa Namibia, Windhoek. Naam.
Elections, President Hage Geingob was re-elected to the 2nd term of office. Dr. Geingob was also the 3rd president of the ruling SWAPO Party of Namibia, following his elections at the 6th SWAPO Party Ordinary Congress in November 2017. At the 7th Ordinary Congress of the SWAPO Party in 2022, President Geingob was re-elected by acclamation as a president of the SWAPO Party. As president of the Republic of Namibia from 2015 to 2024, getting steady leadership throughout an economic downturn occasioned by global commodity crisis of 2014. Severe droughts between 2014 to 2019, recorded to have been the worst in the history of our country. That, of course, included COVID-19 pandemic, which affected many sectors of the economy from 2020 to 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, Hage Godfrey Geingob was born on the 3rd of August, 1941. I begin to wonder how I can even confuse the date, the year of when I was born. In the district of Grootfontein, in the Shovanjipa region. Godfrey Geingob began his schooling in Otavi in the year 1948. In 1958, he attended Agustinium Government College, where the first seeds of political consciousness were planted. As a student at Agustinum College, Hage actively engaged in student against unfair treatment of students, the students of that time. That included many people of my generation as we gathered at that particular educational institution. In 1961, he completed his teacher's training, after which he started teaching in Sumep. It was in Sumep where he started partaking in SWAPO activities and officially joined SWAPO Party in 1962. On the 3rd of April 1962, Southwest Africa into exile, transiting through Botswana, joining other freedom fighters, particularly at that time from South Africa, from Mozambique, from Angola, and of course from Namibia here, to pursue the struggle for liberation. Dr. Geingob left Botswana for Leopold Fellowship to go to the United States of America, where he enrolled at Temple University in Philadelphia. While in the United States, Dr. Geingob was appointed as SWAPO representative to the Americas, and of course serving as a chief representative to the United Nations, combining his duties as a freedom fighter and a petitioner at the United Nations. Dr. Geingob obtained a BA in political science from Fordham University in New York in 1970, and later read for a master's degree in international relations at the New School for Social Research in 1974. In 1997, the University of Namibia had the honor to award him an honorary doctorate of laws. Eventually he obtained a doctor of philosophy from Leeds University in the United Kingdom in 2004, with his thesis titled "The State Formation in Namibia, Promoting Democracy and Good Governance." Honorary degree in doctorate in humane letters, a recipient of many international awards endeavor. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Geingob is also a recipient of the Order of Joseph Marti Award for his exceptional leadership from the government of the Republic of Cuba. Following the termination of the South African mandate over Namibia in 1966, the United Nations assumed direct responsibility and subsequently established a nationhood program for Namibia that included the setting up of the United Nations Institute for Namibia in Lusaka, Zambia. Dr. Geingob was appointed a director of that institution in Lusaka from 1975, and he served until 1989. An institution that he established and whose core mandate was sectoral policy research and to train cadres for the future civil service of an independent Namibia. In 1989, he was chosen by the leadership of SWAPO to lead a cohort of senior SWAPO leaders and Namibians then living in exile to return to Namibia under the United Nations Security Council Resolution 435, a resolution that paved the way for free and fair elections that was conducted by the United Nations and supervised by our dear Matia Tisari. Following the successful United Nations supervised election in 1989, where he held the position of a director of elections of SWAPO. Dr. Geingob was elected the chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, the body that was responsible for drafting the constitution for independent Namibia. At the independence on the 21st of March 1990, Dr. Geingob was appointed as our first prime minister, where he geared towards serving the interests of all Namibians, regardless of color or place of origin, but for the sake of molding a united country. Dr. Geingob served for 12 years in the position of Prime Minister before taking a brief break from the political scene. In 2005, Dr. Geingob returned to active politics and served as a chief whip of the SWAPO party in the National Assembly, and was a chairperson of the Parliamentary Study Committee of Economics and Public Administration. Ladies and gentlemen, following his election in 2007 as a vice president of SWAPO, Dr. Geingob was appointed in 2008 as a Minister of Trade and Industry. As a minister, Dr. Geingob spearheaded the assistance of small and medium enterprises through the Equipment Aid Scheme, the industrial policy, and the creation of during November 2007 at the SWAPO Party Congress. In 2012, Dr. Geingob was re-elected as the vice president of SWAPO Party, following which he was reappointed as a prime minister in 2012 until his election as a president of was, along with his colleagues, continental and international forums. His presence and contribution was highly appreciated and left indelible mark in international affairs. On the regional stage, Dr. Geingob served as the chairperson of the SADC organ of politics, defense and security cooperation. He was also actively involved in the work of the African Union, contributing to ensuring peace and stability across the African continent. On the stage of the United Nations, President Geingob shared a deep understanding for its work in development, peace, and security. He was a passionate member of the African Union Committee as one of the 10 heads of state calling for reforms of the United Nations Security Council. As a president of Namibia, he played a crucial role in our engagement with the Commonwealth of Nations. The themes are: inclusivity spells harmony, exclusivity spells conflict. One Namibia, one nation, and that no one should feel left out in the Namibian House. A prominent of the partnership in government and in President Geingob led to the creation of the Anti-Corruption Commission as a prime minister in the 1990s. Very active throughout his career as a senior person within our government, spared no effort in speaking out in favor of a free press and advocating the ability that we should be open to each other. And in politics, there is always a give and take. Concerned with the acceleration of development and prosperity for the Namibian people, President Geingob initiated the Harambee Prosperity Plan 1 and 2, with the stated objective of strengthening effective governance architecture, the social progression of vulnerable and economic infrastructure advancement for Namibia, as well as enhancement of Namibia's standing in the international arena. Dr. Geingob championed the creation of Namibia's Sovereign Wealth Fund to ensure sustainable development for generations to come. All that having in mind a peaceful Namibia, a developed Namibia, taking into account what we inherited at the time of independence. In divided country, His Excellency Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob is survived by his dear wife, Monica Geingob, 8 children and 3 grandchildren, 2 siblings, and many nieces and nephews. Go well, my friend, the son of Namibia. Remember you. Rest in peace.
Anam, mtazamaji, ni siku maalum ya maombolezo ya kitaifa yanayofanyika katika uwanja wa Uhuru mjini Windhoek katika kumbukizi kabla ya kufanyika kwa maziko rasmi ya aliyekuwa rais wa Namibia Dr. Hage Geingob. Yanafanyika kitaifa ambapo amehudhuriwa na viongozi mbalimbali kutoka mataifa ya Afrika na nje ya Afrika. Lakini kikubwa zaidi yupo Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, yupo katika shughuli hiyo. Lakini yupo Rais mstaafu wa Tanzania Dr. Jakaya Kikwete yuko kule, na vile vile uongozi wa Chama cha Mapinduzi, makamu mwenyekiti wa Chama cha Mapinduzi Abdulrahman Kinana yuko. Itakumbuka kwamba Chama cha Ukombozi wa Namibia SWAPO kina ushirikiano mkubwa na wa karibu na Chama cha Mapinduzi. Itakumbuka Tanzania ilikuwa kinara katika harakati za ukombozi wa nchi za kusini mwa Afrika, ambapo Namibia ilikuwa ni moja wao iliyopata ushirika mkubwa. Na mtazamaji, kama unafungua television yako, ni maombolezo ya kitaifa ya kifo cha aliyekuwa rais wa 3 wa Namibia Dr. Hage Geingob, ambaye pia amewahi kuwa waziri mkuu. Katika waliozungumza hapo awali kumzungumzia Dr. Geingob, wamesema namna alivyokuwa mchapakazi. Na itakumbuka kwamba Namibia wakati ule ndio inapata uhuru, yeye aliwahi kushika nafasi ya waziri mkuu kwa miaka 12 kutoka mwaka 1990 hadi mwaka 2002. Lakini pia kutokana na umaridadi wake wa uchapakazi alirejeshwa tena baada ya kushika nafasi kadhaa akapata waziri mkuu tena 2012 hadi 2015. Florence Mavindi, leo ni siku nzito sana kwa Namibia. Unalipi la kuzungumza?
Ni kweli ni simanzi, majonzi kwa wana Namibia, lakini sio kwa wana Namibia tu peke yake. Ramadhani mpenda, tunaweza kusema kwa nchi nyingi za Afrika, kwa sababu ukiangalia masuala ya kidiplomasia, ushirikiano ambao upo baina ya nchi moja na nchi nyingine kwa nchi bara hili la Afrika ni mkubwa sana. Kwa hiyo unaona kwamba ni simanzi kwa wengi ukiangalia jinsi walivyoshirikiana nchi ya Namibia na mataifa mengine katika masuala ya kiuchumi, katika masuala ya kijamii. Kwa hiyo tunasema hii ni simanzi kubwa ambayo imewakumba wenzetu na bara la Afrika kwa ujumla. Na hili pia linanikumbusha hayati John Magufuli. Tulikuwa nao pia wenzetu waliomboleza nasi pamoja. Kwa pia ni wakati wetu pia nasi kuweza kuomboleza nao pamoja, wa Tanzania kwa jumla na mataifa mengine kwa ujumla.
Naam, Florence, ni kweli unachokisema, na kizingatia kwamba hasa Namibia na Tanzania tuna ushirika wa kidugu. Kwa sababu utakumbuka harakati za mzee wetu, baba yetu wa taifa, marehemu Julius Nyerere, alishirikiana vilivyo na baba wa taifa wa Namibia. Hifikepunye Pohamba pamoja na kina Sam Nujoma wameshirikiana vizuri, na hata heshima ile inaonekana katika baadhi ya maeneo. Tuna barabara Sam Nujoma kuonesha Tanzania namna tunavyoenzi viongozi wale walioshirikiana katika kuasisi mataifa yao. Lakini leo wa Namibia wana simanzi kubwa, lakini vile vile wanatoa alama nzuri kwa Afrika kuonesha kwamba utaratibu wa mbadilishano wa madaraka bila kumwaga damu, bila kuwa na bugdha unawezekana.
Naam, kabisa.
Baada ya kifo cha Dr. Gengo, uliona namna alivyofanya ile mbadilishano ilikuwa ni haraka
na ukawa ni wa amani, utulivu, bila changamoto yote ambayo imejitokeza. Hakuna. Na ni funzo kama unavyosema, imeacha alama kwamba ni funzo pia kwa wengine. Tunaona kwetu pia Tanzania ilivyotokea kwa hayati John Pombe Magufuli, Rais Samia Suluhu Hassan ambaye alikuwa ni makamu wa rais. Akaja Afrika, kama watu wengi wanapenda kukaa madarakani wakai wao wenyewe, au ukisema mabadiliko ni ngumu sana kuweza kuruhusu hicho kitu, lakini kwa hii ni ishara kwamba demokrasia inawezekana, usawa unawezekana bila mwagaji wa damu yoyote.
Ni kweli Florence, lakini la pili lingine ambalo wa Namibia wanamkumbuka sana Dr. Gengo ni uchapakazi wake na uhodari katika kupambana na rushwa. Rushwa imekuwa ni ugonjwa mkubwa sana kwa mataifa mengi na hususan Afrika. Inarejesha nyuma maendeleo. Anatajwa kwamba alikuwa ni kinara championi katika kupambana na rushwa akiwa katika nafasi ya waziri mkuu. Lakini hakusita kuendeleza taswira yake ile na harakati zake za kupambana na rushwa akiwa rais. Unaielezaje rushwa inavyoathiri maendeleo ya Afrika?
Rushwa kwa kiasi kikubwa inakwamisha mambo mengi ya kimaendeleo. Tunaongelea kwamba unakuta mtu anahitaji kwenda kupata huduma hospitali, lakini pia anapaswa kutoa kitu chochote. Wakati ni haki ya kuweza kupata huduma, anatoa fedha kupata huduma ile ya afya, lakini unakuta kuna mnyororo fulani ambao unakwamisha kwa namna moja ama nyingine. Kwa hiyo tukisema mapambano ya rushwa yalianza kitambo na mpaka sasa bado yanaendelea, haimaanishi kwamba inashindwa kutokomezwa. Hapana. Hatua kwa hatua, taratibu, ndivyo ambavyo rushwa inaweza kwenda kupotea kwa utaratibu mzuri kabisa, ili kuweza kutoa haki kwa wananchi wengine kuweza kupata huduma za kijamii kwa usawa, bila kusema kwamba toa chochote upate hiki. Unakuta ni kitu cha msingi Ramadhani, lakini pale ambapo unaona mtu anakuongelesha fulani hivi, au hata ni barabarani ukuta traffic anakuongelesha kwa lugha ambayo ni ya ushawishi, wewe utoe kitu chochote. Unasema huyu si wa kuniongoza barabarani, kwa nini nimpe kitu chochote? Unaona, yeye ndo anapaswa kuwa mwalimu wa madereva barabarani, bodaboda, magari hivyo, lakini kwa nini nitoe chochote? Unakuta yeye anayetoa na yule anayepokea wote wanatenda kosa. Lakini huu mnyororo kwa nini tusiuvunje? Ndio mapambano tunaona kuna taasisi mbalimbali zinahakikisha kwamba kutoa elimu kwa wananchi kwamba ukitaka kutoa rushwa unafanya kosa, sio yule anayepokea tu peke yake. Kwa hiyo elimu iweze kuingia kwa wananchi wengi kujua kwamba haki zao za msingi ni zipi, wafanye lipi ili kuhakikisha kwamba wanaenenda katika msingi mzuri bila kukosea taifa. Maana ukifanya hivyo umekosea taifa na mwenyewe pia umejikosesha pia haki zako za msingi.
Ni kweli kabisa Florence Mavindi, na shughuli ndio bado inaendelea kule, lakini kunasema kwamba rais mstaafu wa awamu ya pili wa Tanzania mzee wetu Ali Hassan Mwinyi anasema kwamba kwa utakapokuwa muondoka duniani basi uwe kitabu kizuri chenye kusimuliwa. Nadhani ndio unahisi kwamba Dr. Gengo sasa anavyokuwa anavyokuwa katika simulizi nzuri katika kupambana na rushwa, utawala mzuri, namna kuunganisha wananchi, demokrasia. Lakini ndio hivyo maneno ya mzee wetu mzee Ali Hassan Mwinyi, anasema uwe kitabu kizuri chenye kusimuliwa pale utakapokuwa umetanguliwa mbele za haki. Mtazamaji, endelea kufuatilia kile kinachoendelea katika matangazo ya moja kwa moja kutoka uwanja wa Uhuru katika mji mkuu wa Namibia, Windhoek. Ni tukio maalum la kumbukizi maalum ya kitaifa kabla ya maziko ya aliyekuwa rais wa 3 wa Namibia, ambapo maziko yake yanatarajiwa kufanyika kesho huko nchini Namibia. Endelea kufuatilia matangazo haya. Mtazamaji, kama tulivyokuambia hapo awali, ni kwamba ni siku nzito sana kwa taifa la Namibia, na itakumbuka kwamba viongozi mbalimbali wameshiriki hapa. Miongoni mwao yupo Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, lakini pia Rais mstaafu wa 4 Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete. Na itakumbuka kwamba mahusiano ya kidiplomasia, ya kiuchumi na ya kijamii kati ya Namibia na Tanzania yamekuwa yakiendelea siku hadi siku. Lakini tuna mahusiano mazuri na Namibia katika masuala mbalimbali ya upashanaji wa habari. Namibia tumeshiriki mambo kadhaa katika shirika la utangazaji Tanzania, kwenda kujifunza kule mambo yanavyokwenda. Ndio mambo yanavyokwenda katika nchi, mashirikiano yenyewe yanatembea kwa nyanja mbalimbali. Kwa hivyo Namibia ni mshirika mkubwa wa karibu wa Tanzania katika mambo mbalimbali.
Na tunakumbuka pia mwandishi wa habari nguli Gabriel Zakaria aliweza kufika kule.
Na Agnes
Tuniga.
Producer makini
kabisa.
Walikwenda Namibia kujifunza mambo kadha wa kadha.
Na pia Gabriel alisema alikaribishwa katika ikulu ya Namibia. Ni wakarimu kama ambao sisi tunajisifia kwamba mataifa mengine pia yanasifia Tanzania kama ni watu wakarimu sana. Ndivyo ambavyo pia Namibia, jinsi ambavyo waandishi wetu hapa walivyofika kule, wamepata ukarimu wa hali ya juu na kuweza kujifunza masuala mbalimbali katika tasnia ya habari, na kuweza kuja kutupa mawili matatu kama vyombo vya habari, wenzetu wanaandaa vipi ripoti, kitu gani hasa cha kuzingatia. Kwa ni somo ambalo pia nasi tumeweza kujifunza kutoka kwa wenzetu ambao waliweza kufika Namibia kupata mawili matatu katika tasnia nzima ya habari.
Ni kweli kabisa Florence Mavini. Labda tuende kusikiliza kile kinachoendelea kutoka katika uwanja wa Uhuru mjini Windhoek nchini Namibia.
Our father was indeed a father in our nation. As his children and grandchildren, we understand that our father wore the heaviest of mantles, and so we tried our best to be his support system, to step back and allow others who wanted pieces of him to have their way, to resolve our problems without burdening him, and to not stress him out with our issues. The irony is that he was always stressed over our issues. Have we eaten? Are we sorted? Are we comfortable? It never ceased to amaze us how he always found the time and energy to ever be present for us. He fathered an entire nation with the same love and concern. Have all the children of Namibia eaten? Is the nation sorted? Are businessmen and women given every opportunity to succeed? Is government doing its best and its part effectively and efficiently? Are the women, men and children of Namibia comfortable in terms of their dwelling? Are they safe? Are they respected, recognized and included? And whenever the answer was that not all Namibians have this, our father applied his whole golden big heart, his brilliant mind and his passionate soul to stressing over the lives and livelihoods of the Namibian children. Our father was a father figure to many. We were raised alongside several siblings, many of whom are here today. In fact, multitudes of which are here today. And thank you so much for accompanying us. In the vast tapestry of existence, where such thread weaves its own narrative, our father's story was one of resilience, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to the greater good. He was a beacon of hope and a testament to the belief that from the humblest of beginnings, greatness can emerge. Our father was a man of principle, embodying the virtues of honesty, integrity, and respect. He navigated the complexities of life with a steadfast moral compass, always guided by the light of truth and the strength of his convictions. His life was a masterclass in the art of living purposefully, a symphony of actions driven by love, duty, and an unshakable belief in the potentiality of humanity. He was not merely a participant in the unfolding story of our nation. He was a visionary architect, dreaming of a future where dignity, prosperity, and unity were not just ideals, but realities for all. Our Namibian house. His vision was not confined to the corridors of power, but extended into the hearts and the homes of those he served with such devotion. Our Namibian house. Our father's approach to life was characterized by a remarkable balance of strength and gentleness. His resilience was not born of rigidity, but of a profound understanding of the human condition. He knew the value of hard brevity, a true son of the soil. In the quiet moments, in the spaces between the demands of leadership, he was a family man at his core. His love for us, his children, was boundless, his guidance unwavering, and his support unconditional. Today, as we celebrate his life and honor his memory, we pledge to carry forward the torch of his legacy. We will strive to live by his principles, to embody the virtues he held dear, and to continue his work of building a future that reflects the beauty of his dreams. Our dad was more than a leader. He was a source of light in a world that often feels overshadowed by the clouds of despair. In his memory, let us all be bearers of that light, champions of the values he cherished, and architects of the world he believed we could create together. In closing, we find solace in the belief that while his journey on this earth has ended, his spirit continues to guide us. His lessons continue to inspire us, and his love continues to embrace us. We are eternally grateful for the privilege of calling him Dad, Papa, Opa. And we take comfort in knowing that his legacy will forever be a beacon of hope, guiding us toward a brighter, more united future. Thank you, Dad, for everything. Your memory will forever be a treasure in our hearts, a reminder of the power of love, the importance of principle, and the boundless potential of the human spirit. Dad, we will miss you so much. Mangaliso will miss those late-night phone calls. Helmut will miss the way you truly understood and listened to him. Nangula will miss your vibrant discussions on politics and campaign trails. Naomi will miss cooking for her papa. Oshoveli and Jackson will miss your sports banter and passionate debates. Dangos will miss rubbing your feet after a hard day at work and sharing your personal, special handshake. Nino will miss being your top guy. Kayla will miss how you always took her side no matter what. And baby Lucas will miss calling you Ota. We will all miss your quick and witted jokes, your sound advice, and your unconditional love. Our life, you live in our lives for.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robiati, for presenting the statement of the children of our late president. We extend our condolences to them once more. Now, with your understanding, I would postpone the performances by the Namibian Defense Force military band so that they will do that at the end of the program, and so we can proceed with the speakers for the sake of time. I would now like to invite Honorable McHenry Venani, Leader of the Official Opposition.
Very much, Director of Ceremony, our Prime Minister, Saraku Kongelwa Mavila, Your Excellency, President Nangolo Mbumba, President of our Republic, and First Lady Madame Seseki Bumba, Madame Monica Gaingos, the widow, the children, grandchildren, shall I say, the nuclear and the extended Sandip Kalondo families. Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, heads of states and governments present, former heads of states and governments, Excellencies, ambassadors, and plenipotentiaries of states, Your Excellency, founding President of our Republic, President Sem Shafishuna Nuyoma and Madame Nuyoma, Your Excellency, our second President of the Republic, Tatekuru Ifike Punye Pohamba and Madame Pohamba, Vice President of our Republic, Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa and General Retired Ndaitwa, Speaker of our National Assembly, Peter Kashavivi, and Chairperson of the National Council, Muha, members of our Cabinet, members of Parliament, Your Lordship Chief Justice and the Judiciary, the Secretary General of the ruling party, Sophia Chaningwa, members of the Fourth Estate, service chiefs, luminaries of our great society, prelate men of the clergy, led by Bishop Emeritus Kameta, and Reverend Dr. Geno Nakamela, amongst prominent men of the clergy, Chief Emmanuel Gassep, Chairperson of the Traditional Council, Governor of the region, Laura McLeod, Mayor of Windhoek, and all other important leaders present here. Fellow mourners, today we gather to bid farewell to a statesman, a leader, a unifying force in the history of our nation, the late Hage G. Geingob. In this moment of grief, let us reflect on the profound impact he had on our nation and monumental legacy he leaves behind. Generally, eulogizing any person is a formidable task, particularly when it pertains to an individual of Gyngob stature, class, and wits, whose influence inspired our nation. In the medley of our nation, as we commemorate the life and legacy of President Gyngob, the profound words of Odysseus of the Greek mythology echo through the corridors of time. We ponder the question that Odysseus asked, and he asked the following, and I quote, "Will strangers hear our names long after we are gone and wonder who we were, how bravely we fought and how fiercely we loved," quote unquote. President Gyngob's legacy, not only as a head of state, but also as a deft negotiator on the international stage, is a testament to his enduring impact on our nation. His skillful diplomacy and adept negotiation strategies were instrumental in navigating some of the complexities of our nation's history. Just as Odysseus contemplated the echoes of his actions, we too must consider the indelible mark that Gyngob leaves on the pages of Namibian history. Generations yet unborn shall inquire about the man who was a fierce debater, a master negotiator, and more so loved in his country with great fervor. President Gyngob can be remembered at midwifing our national constitution. What an honor that he was to this country, that during a difficult time, he could get it right in a passage of less than 80 days to create a respected Bill of Rights that is respected globally. That is the man we are eulogizing today. President Gyngob shall be remembered by me, who had the honor to oppose him, to hold his government accountable for the last 9 years, as a man who nearly single-handedly convinced our country that we must take on the European Union and renegotiate the EPAs. He did it. And that is the acumen of a man I am eulogizing today. In honoring Gyngob's memory, let us recognize that his actions, like those of Odysseus, transcend the immediate present. His name shall endure, and strangers in the future will hear of his deeds, pondering the character of the leader who was present for many historical events in our nation's young history. Fellow mourners, in this solemn moment as we bid farewell to my dear elder brother, I wish to extend my deepest condolences to you, my sister, Madam Monica Gyngob. And I want to start my statement by saying this to you, my dear sister. The burden you carry during this period of profound loss is undoubtedly immense. And it is with sincere sympathy and empathy that I acknowledge the strength and resilience you have exhibited as the pillar of your family. Navigating the intricate responsibility of being a matriarch of the Namibian house was not an easy feat. And your steadfastness during these challenging times has not gone unnoticed. The sacrifices you made and the strength you displayed for the sake of your children, your family, exemplify the depth of your character and the love that binds your household. As my wife and I reflect on your poise and resilience, we stand in awe of your grace under such trying times. I know your own husband would have said, "Monica, are you a crybaby? You must not be a coward." So I don't want you to mourn by crying. I want you to celebrate your life partner. Madam Gyngob, your role as a partner to the late President Gyngob did not go unnoticed, and I extend my utmost respect for the love, care, and support you provided throughout your marriage. I knew Dr. Gyngob very well, and I knew when he was happy. And I can testify in front of all the millions of our people, Hage was happy around Monica all the time. As we collectively mourn his loss, I want you to know that my wife and I are profoundly proud of you. Your resilience, dignity, and unwavering support have been a source of inspiration to many during this challenging time. I say this to you. You took a ceremonial office of First Lady, and you conducted yourself that even politicians started to wait what you're saying. And that is the character of the woman you displayed in this country. We are proud of you, Monica Gyngob. As we navigate the tempest of loss, we turn to the words of William Shakespeare, who encapsulated the essence of our shared sorrow, when he said the following, and I quote, "When he shall die, take him and cut him out in the little stars, and he will make the face of heaven so fine that all the world will be in love with night and pay no worship to the garish sun," quote unquote. In the tapestry of our nation, President Gyngob's legacy shines as a constellation, a guiding light that has shaped the fabric of our identity. His dedication to the nation-building project will forever remain etched in our collective memory. President Gyngob often spoke of the test of our nation being in its unity, particularly during the unprecedented periods in our history. Today we find ourselves at such a junction, facing daunting challenges that define our era. It is during these trying times that the unity he championed becomes not just a test, but a beacon, guiding us through the storm. Fellow mourners, President Gyngob on the political theater. President Gyngob could certainly be difficult at times, and he made me very, very angry. And I'm sure I also made him very, very angry on the many positions that we took. But President Gyngob conducted a political transactional currency of the highest level for months. But we would always view each other as compatriots. We had respect for one another. We were not condescending. We had differences, acrimonious differences, politically, that ought to be in a country. But one thing was, Gyngob was a patriot to this country. And he knew that his opposing Namibians were also compatriots. And for that, I shall forever hold him very dear. President Gyngob and I shared a brief friendship in the earlier years of our careers. I was a young man, went to Parliament at the age of 26. He was the chief whip of his party, I was the chief whip of my party. And this is where the camaraderie started. I don't want to waste time, but I want to bring these small moments in our lives that I will forever cherish as an elder brother. He was a bridge builder of all times. When it was not a common thing in this country for opposing leaders to become personal friends, Hage Gyngob made friends with the opposition. We could go to his house, he could call our homes. We had friendship that the country was not even realizing why he was doing that. But he was a bridge builder. For that, I shall forever remain indebted to him. One day, we took a flight, myself and him. He was the chairman of the Economics Committee, and he made that committee so powerful. And he wanted the best a la creme of parliamentarians to be part of that committee. Long story short, we landed, took a very light aircraft, was seated next to me. We went to Kunene South in the conservancy areas. Dr. Topi Aupindi reminded me of the story. He was the managing director of one company called Wilderness Safari or something. So they took us on a ride to see the fauna and flora of the area and to see the animals. Myself, President Gyngob, our Foreign Minister Pierre Muchelenga, jumped on a car that was open. And as we were traversing, we saw a very stray elephant. And this elephant was charging on the car that we were seated in. Typical Gyngob. You see, you want us to get killed. We have better assignments to do in the future. Turn this car, let's go back. So we went back. So when we arrived later years, you, Venani, you were brave that day. But had you not been, for me, you wouldn't have even been the opposition leader of this country. You would have been dead by now. He would laugh. Above all, the man was a man of principle and code. He had a set of public virtues that brought strength and purpose to his life and to our country. He was a very honest man, even when it offended others. He would take a position, like it or not. Hage would take a position. You knew where you stood with him on any matter. Of recent, he took on Germany on the question of Israel and the Namibian genocide. I must say This man was a man of principle, a worthy opponent, a critical debater, but a man who would always hold hand. I see, with great respect, the President of Germany is here, Herr Steinmeier. Herr Steinmeier, on the mortal remains of my friend, many German leaders for the last many years never came to this country. The last person who was here was Herr Helmut Kohl. It's good that you are here. But on the mortal remains of this man and on the work that was started by our second president, President Pohamba, our people are expecting that Namibian-German case of genocide to be settled. We plead to you when you go back that on the negotiating table, create a respectable deal on behalf of our people, create an honorable deal so that we close this chapter and move on going forward. Namibia is better for his presence amongst us. The world is smaller for his departure, and we will remember him as he was, unwavering and towering. We will remember his husky voice, his jovial smile and laughter. As friends, when the political temperatures went high, my dear sister Monica would toss us one side at state events. The two of us had a weakness not to look like our problems. So Monica would ask, so Hage and McHenry, who is better dressed today? She would be on the floor because Hage would start saying, obviously Hage, how can this young man dress better than me? That is the man who was Hage, always jovial and making jokes when it come to easy time. We will remember his composure. We will remember that he brought a sense of calm to an office ever so serious. I recall during the COVID-19 pandemic, if I have to write about Hage Geingob, that was his best years of being a leader of this country. Hage was conducting these family meetings, alcohol prohibited. Alcohol prohibited. Hage would share often on WhatsApps on the conditions of the COVID-19, but how he demonstrated leadership during that difficult time, it was something to be emulated. Of course, he was not a perfect man. Hage never knew how to console someone. Oh my goodness. During COVID-19, I was in ICU. My sister dies, and just as I leave ICU, Hage calls. Yeah, my young brother, you must know people die. I'm like saying Big G. I used to call him Big G. How do you start like, well, I know what has happened to you, but people do die. You must just be strong. Continue. That is Hage. That is the man we are honoring today. Shall I say, death, have thee no shame. Death, have thee no shame. We have been robbed of one of our brightest minds, not just our generation, but also in our history. We have been gripped by loss that affects every household in this great republic. This is not just the death of a public figure. It feels personal. Hage's death is felt everywhere in our country. The elders, the young, everyone, even people from various political parties, everybody is saying our leader has gone. That is the man that he was. I've always respected his views on the free media, and that he allowed the media to have a full day with him. He would be questioned on anything that he does, right or wrong, personal or no personal. Hage would be on the front lines, and that's how he treated the media. I'm sure the media will miss him dearly. I will miss him dearly because our politics was very loud. Hage would disagree with us very loudly. He would always watch parliamentary debates every day. And if Venani is scoring the goals, he would call certain people, I don't want to name their names. And when they come back, you see that they're hitting. When they're hitting back, I know it's the instruction comes from State House. At this juncture, we must envision a future guided by the principles of unity, service, and unwavering commitment to our nation. The challenges we face demand decisive leadership and steadfast dedication to our defining values. Inspired by Geingob's legacy, current and future generations must walk the journey of serving the people. In commemorating him, we salute the work he has done for our country selflessly. As we navigate the path forward, we should continue to construct what he termed Namibian House, that is steadfast, committed to the eradication of divisive elements. Tribalism, racism, regionalism, and any other forms of discrimination must find no place within our national narrative. Together as a united country, we must seek to mitigate the challenges that lies ahead, fortified by the values that President Geingorb's leadership defined. Furthermore, our commitment to high transactional currency has saved our politics. We are one country that has done very well in terms of our democratic credentials. It's not a perfect house, but we are building that house knowing that as citizens, we must continue to support and help a country before politics. Namibian first, country first, politics second. And that is the mantra of the political currency, that our persistent challenges of underdevelopment, unemployment and inequality and to identify our efforts in laying the foundations for a Namibia that epitomizes goodness and justice. In bidding farewell to President Geingob, let us draw solace to his favorite word in the Bible, Psalm 34, verse 18. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. May these verses offer solace and assurance as we navigate the path ahead in honoring President Geingob. Finally, as we lament a life well and a life well
Mtazamaji, aliyekuwa akiongea ni kiongozi wa upinzani wa Namibia, ambapo amemuongelea kwa umakini zaidi Dr. Geingob kwamba alikuwa kiongozi mvumilivu, kiongozi msikivu, kiongozi ambaye aliunganisha wa Namibia pale ilipokuja katika swala la kisiasa. Amemtaja Dr. Geingob kwamba aliweka utaifa mbele na siasa baadaye. Lakini kazungumza mambo ya kidogo, anasema kwamba kuna wakati maji yanakuwa yanachemka katika siasa, basi anawaambia watulie kidogo, lakini utaifa mbele. Huyo ni Dr. Geingob ambaye katangulia mbele za haki Februari 4 na maziko yake yanatarajiwa kufanyika kesho. Leo ni siku ya kumbukumbu ya kitaifa ambayo inafanyika katika uwanja wa Uhuru mjini Windhoek. Shughuli imehudhuriwa na viongozi kadha wa kadha. Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan yupo mjini Windhoek. Rais mstaafu wa awamu ya 4 Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Dr. Kikwete yupo kushiriki moja kwa moja na wananchi wa Namibia na viongozi wa Namibia katika siku nzito ya kumbukumbu ya kitaifa, na baadaye kushiriki mazishi rasmi ya aliyekuwa rais wa 3 wa Namibia Dr. Geingob aliyefariki Februari 4 mwaka huu. Mtazamaji, tuendelee kufuatilia kile kinacho
We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you forever. Director of Ceremonies, Dr. Sarah Kuwangerwa Madira, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Namibia, Madam Monica Genkos, Third First Lady of the Republic of Namibia, the children, and the entire bereaved family, Your Excellency, Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Mbumba, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Governments, Your Excellency, Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, Founding President of the Republic of Namibia, and Madam Nujoma, Your Excellency, Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, Second President of the Republic of Namibia, Heads of, and Madam Pohamba, Heads of international and regional organizations, Heads of delegation. In the interest of time, I sincerely request that I stand on the protocol established and to say, comrades, fellow Namibians, fellow mourners, under the glorious banner of freedom, solidarity, and justice, the SWAPO Party family is grieved by the loss of our leader. We are nursing the deep and overwhelming pain of losing someone who was not only closer to us, but a valued member of our party, who dedicated his entire life to the cause of our revolutionary party and to the Namibian nation. It is therefore with a heavy heart and deepest sorrow that I stand here to bid farewell and pay tribute to one of the heroes of our liberation struggle. In human history, every country is bestowed and gifted with outstanding heroes and heroines, whose lives are embodied in the national tapestry of its political, economic, and culture, as well as social and economic life. Namibia, too, is blessed with outstanding leaders, revolutionaries, and iconic giants who have made great contribution to the birth and the growth of our country. Our departed president, Comrade Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob, is one of those heroes. And it was not by mistake when the SWAPO party deployed Comrade Geingob to the government and to the Namibian nation. And he did not let the party down. And this is demonstrated by the way the nation and the world is mourning him. From 1962, when he joined SWAPO, up to the 4th February 2024, when the entire Namibian nation woke up to the devastating news of his pass. It marked a period of 64 years of solid and total commitment and dedication to the just cause of our genuine freedom and independence, and to the building of a united, peaceful, and inclusive Namibia. He was a leader born into a generation that fearlessly sacrificed for a free and independent Namibia. The SWAPO party and our country has lost a revolutionary, a visionary, a towering hero. He was a divine gift bestowed upon Namibia and its people. Building on the foundation led by Comrade Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, the founding president and the father of Namibian nation, and Comrade Hifikepunye Pohamba, our second president, Comrade Geingob, focused on Namibia's social progress and economic emancipation. He championed unity of purpose and action among all Namibians. He strived for inclusive economic prosperity for all our people. His name will definitely remain engraved in the annals of the history of our country and, of course, that of SWAPO Party. Our departed president's contribution to the development and the growth of Namibia as a modern constitutional democracy leaves a visible permanent mark. He did not only contribute to the crafting of the democratic constitution of Namibia that he chaired, but also strive to promote its full application in all the areas of governance during his tenure of office as the first Prime Minister and the third President of the Republic of Namibia, the land of the brave. As Prime Minister, he championed the unification, modernization, and cultivation of a high-performance culture in the Namibian public service. His commitment and dedication to good governance is reflected in both the political and administrative architecture of our nation today. The direct access to his office by all citizens of our country through open and transparent engagement was immensely promoted, while the political and administration interface between the political principal and administrator was reinforced during his tenure of office. He was indeed a people's president, and that's why as a country, for the past 3 weeks, we have been all in mourning, and memorial service were held even under a tree deep in the rural areas of our country. The nation mourning its leader, the nation mourning its loved one. During his presidency, Comrade Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob has initiated the Harambee Prosperity Plan, a comprehensive policy tool which is aimed at addressing the socio-economic development challenges facing the country and, of course, to faster tracking the attainment of the goals enumerated in our long-term vision 2030. The 4 pillars in the Harambee Prosperity Plan, namely effective governance, economic advancement, social progression, infrastructure development, and international cooperation, represents his pioneering goal to bring about an inclusive prosperity for all Namibians. On the international front, our departed president leaves a legacy of a true champion of world peace and security, as well as equal sharing of prosperity among all nations of the world. His voice was vocal at various international fora, particularly the SADC, the African Union, the United Nations, and many others, for the promotion of multilateralism and equality among nations. The world was waiting with expectation for him, with his German counterpart present here today, to chair the UN Summit for the Future this year. Unfortunately, we will miss him. And the presence of many international guests here or mourners is a clear testimony that the world will miss him, particularly during the UN Summit for the Future. Fellow mourners, dear comrades, with the passing of our president, we will miss him, his parental caring and unifying character. His absence leaves a gap in our midst. As SWAPO and as members of the entire Namibian House, of course, one of his ventures that he deeply upheld and promoted when he was alive was unity of purpose and action among all the people of Namibia. At the party level, Comrade Geingob advocated for the organic unit of the entire SWAPO party leadership and the rank and the file. We will embrace and continue to promote his legacy in order to ensure that SWAPO party remains a part of choice and a true political home for all Namibians. As we mourn his passing, let us rededicate ourselves and continue to emulate his exemplary deeds in the second phase of the struggle for economic independence. It is our belief that Comrade Geingob has joined others, gallant sons and daughters of our land, who have preceded him. May the revolutionary spirit of Comrade Geingob endure and many of our honors, and may we honor him by building a prosperous Namibia where generations will live in unity, peace, and harmony. Comrade Geingob has also invested a Namibian house that is united, peaceful, and inclusive. Let the current and the future generation of Namibia continue to draw inspiration from his legacy, and let us really build a Namibian house in which nobody should feel left out. Meme Monica Geingob, our third First Lady of the Republic of Namibia, the children, and the entire bereaved family. You have lost a husband. You have lost a father. You have lost an uncle. You have lost a grandpa. But I want to tell you, you have not lost a Namibia. You have not lost the Namibians. You have not lost the world. You have seen how many heads of state, first ladies, dignitaries who came to Casa Rosaria in the course of the 3 weeks. That's the assurance that you should have, that besides this dark crowd that befell in your house, you still have the people around you. And be hopeful. And as a family of SWAPO party, we are also there. And we will continue to say comrades when we are coming home. Therefore, at this point, allow me, on behalf of SWAPO party leadership and the entire rank and file, to extend our sincere, heartfelt condolence on the passing of your dear husband, your dear father, and for us, our dear comrade, our beloved President, Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob. To you, Meme Monica, the children and the family, thank you for sharing Comrade President Geingob with the nation. taking away from the family time. This we highly appreciate, and we will always remember it. We greatly share in your loss, and we only say, may the Almighty God console and strengthen all of you or us during this difficult period of mourning. Go well, Comrade Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob. Go well, our beloved President, our leader. Go well, our hero. Rest in perfect and eternal peace, Comrade Hage Godfrey Geingob. We salute thee, comrade, we salute you. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you, comrade, we salute you. We salute you forever.
Thank you very much, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa. Very good. Thank you very much, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa, Vice President. I now move on to the next speaker, who is His Excellency Dr. Hifikepunye Pohamba, Second President of the Republic of Namibia. And I would like to invite His Excellency Dr. Pohamba to present his tribute. Your Excellency.
Naam, mtazamaji wa TBC, kumbuka haya ni matangazo. Tumejiunga na shirika la utangazaji la Namibia katika matangazo ya moja kwa moja ya siku ya kitaifa ya kumbukumbu ya kifo cha aliyekuwa rais wa Namibia Dr. Hage Geingob, ambapo Rais Samia Suluhu Hassan yupo mjini Windhoek kushiriki moja kwa moja na wananchi wa Namibia na viongozi wengine wa Afrika katika siku nzito ya kumbukumbu ya kifo cha Dr. Geingob huko Namibia. Aliyetoka kuongea ni makamu wa rais wa Namibia, anaitwa Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwa. Amemtaja Dr. Geingob kwamba alikuwa ni mwanamapinduzi aliyejali Namibia kwanza, lakini vile vile kazungumza utendaji wake ndani ya chama tawala cha SWAPO nchini Namibia. Sema kimempoteza mwanamapinduzi mahiri ambaye alijali kuunganisha watu, alijali umoja wa Namibia na vile vile maendeleo ya Namibia. Lakini vile vile amemtaja katika utumishi wake katika umma, kujali wananchi, kwamba alikuwa ni kiongozi aliyetanguliza maslahi ya wananchi, na pale inapokuja katika kipindi kigumu, basi yeye amekuwa ni kimbilio la viongozi wengine katika kutafuta majawabu ya changamoto zinazokabili wa Namibia. Mtazamaji, muda mfupi tutamsikiliza rais mstaafu wa Namibia Hifikepunye Pohamba, ambaye mshereheshaji kwa namna alivyoweka ratiba basi atafuatia yeye rais mstaafu wa Namibia Hifikepunye Pohamba. Kumbuka ni mkusanyiko ambao umeshirikisha viongozi mbalimbali. Nimekwambia kwamba Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, yupo kule pamoja na rais mstaafu wa awamu ya 4 wa Tanzania Dr. Jakaya Kikwete. Na sasa basi tumsikilize rais mstaafu wa Namibia Hifikepunye Pohamba.
Madam Susan Mbumba, First Lady of our Republic, Her Excellency Comrade Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, Vice President of our Republic, and the Lieutenant Epaphras Ndaitwah, the widow, Madam Monica Geingos, former First Lady, Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, Your Excellencies, former heads of state and governments, Your Excellency, distinguished heads of delegations, fellow monarchs, permit me to stand on the established protocol. On Sunday, February 4th, the Namibian nation woke up to the horrifying and the painful news of the passing away of our President, Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob. I, for one, was shocked and deeply touched by this devastating news. The news of the death of our president, a leader who is a young man influenced by the political situation in the country at the time, took a conscious decision to join his fellow Namibians abroad who were fighting to liberate his motherland. We are here today to pay our final respect to a man who served his nation with passion during the dark days of our struggle for freedom and independence. A man who would serve as the first prime minister in an independent Namibia, and who went on to become the third president of the Republic of Namibia. I have known the late Comrade Hage for more than 60 years now. We met for the first time at a bus stop at a railway station in Chumeb in December 1962. On that day, Comrade Eliandra Matale and I were being deported to our native homeland. Upon our release from imprisonment that lasted several months, we were imprisoned for being out of the country without a permission. This was after we were arrested upon our return from Tanganyika, now the United Republic of Tanzania, in 1962. Dear mourners, Comrade Nkenkob left the country and joined SWAPO office in the then Bechuanaland, now the Republic of Botswana, where he temporarily served as an assistant representative of SWAPO during the period between 1963 and 1964, after which he left to study in the United States of America. In 1964, SWAPO Party President Comrade Dr. Sam Nujoma appointed Comrade Nkenkob to represent the SWAPO Party while studying in the United States, and served as SWAPO Party representative at the United Nations and to the Americas. During his tenure as SWAPO Party representative at the United Nations, Comrade Nkenkob traveled extensively within the United States, addressing meetings, and he was, in most cases, accompanied by his fellow students, such as Comrade Hidipo Hamtenya, Comrade Theo Benegurirab, and others. These efforts contributed to massively the recognition of SWAPO Party as the sole and authentic representative of the people of Namibia by the United Nations General Assembly, leading to, and that was after several years, the independence of Namibia in 1990. In 1975, Comrade Sam Nujoma, the president of SWAPO Party, recommended for the appointment of Comrade Hage Nkenkob to be director of the newly established United Nations Institute for Namibia. Comrade Geingob and his team were responsible for the establishing of the institution in Lusaka, Republic of Zambia. SWAPO asked the United Nations and the members of the international community to establish an institution to train the young Namibians who were taught under the Bantu education in Namibia, which was not a proper education setup. Their primary functions, that is Comrade Hage Geingob and his colleagues, was to train cadres who would take over the civil service in independent Namibia. Yes, indeed, this had happened. Today, we have the Chief Justice of this country, Peter Sibote. We have Petros Damaset, Judge President. We have Martha Imara, Prosecutor General. We have Albert Kawana, Minister of Home Affairs. We have Pendukeni Bulaitana, former Minister of Home Affairs. We have Inge Zamani Kamwe, Presidential Advisor. All these 7 people I have mentioned were trained, or they went through the United Nations Institute for Namibia in Lusaka. Director of Ceremonies, Comrade Hage Geingob, served as Director of the United Nations Institute for Namibia until 1989, when he was reassigned to lead the SWAPO party leaders back home. That included me. I was also in that group. Dear monarchs, after 27 years of absence from his motherland, Comrade Geingob and many of us finally returned home on the 18th of June, 1989, under the leadership of Comrade Geingob. In the same year, Comrade Hage Geingob was elected by the Politburo of SWAPO Party as Director of Elections to spearhead the SWAPO's election campaign in the country. Along with his team, they set up election centers all over the country and led the electoral campaign that saw the SWAPO party win the majority in 1990. On 21st November 1989, Comrade Hage was elected chairman of the Constituent Assembly, which was responsible for the formulation and drafting of the Namibian Constitution. It was a process of building mutual trust between the former warring parties. The Namibian Constitution was unanimously adopted by the Constituent Assembly on the 9th of February, 1990. On March 21st, 1990, Comrade Sam Nujoma, as new President of the Republic of Namibia, appointed Comrade Hage as the first Prime Minister. In November 2007, the Politburo nominated Comrade Hage as a candidate for the position of Vice President of SWAPO Party. At the Congress, Comrade Hage was elected the Vice President, unopposed, on 29th November 2007, after which, as second President of the Republic of Namibia, I appointed him Minister of Trade and Industry on April 2008. At the 2012 SWAPO Party Congress, Comrade Hage was re-elected as Vice President on the 2nd December 2012. After the Congress, I appointed the Comrade Hage Prime Minister on December 4th, making him the first Prime Minister to serve under two presidents. Comrade Hage Geingob was the best administrator in public and government business in this country. His dedication earned him respect and admiration, not only among the SWAPO party leadership, but also among the opposition parties, rank and file. Comrade Geingob was subsequently elected the President of Namibia by an overwhelming majority on the 28th November 2014. On 21st March 2015, I handed over the symbols of power to Comrade Hage Geingob as he was sworn in as Namibia's third president. At that time, I assured the Namibian nation that I am leaving Namibia in good hands. I still believe that in Geingob, Namibia was in good hands, judging by what his administration has accomplished during the reign characterized by many challenges, such as economic downturn that affected the many economies in the world, drought, and floods. And the COVID-19 pandemic. Director of Ceremonies on the 18th of April 2015, the Central Committee of SWAPO Party convened a meeting in Ongwediva, where, among other things, I tendered in my resignation as a SWAPO Party president to allow the Vice President to act until the next Congress, and thereby allowing him to have a full authority to manage both affairs of state and those of the SWAPO Party. Following this development, the Central Committee organized a public meeting on the 19th of April, 2015, at the Osakati Soccer Stadium, during which I officially handed over the SWAPO Party presidential instruments of power to the SWAPO Party acting president, Comrade Hage Geingob. Dear monarchs, the passing away of Comrade Hage Geingob must remind us of the Peter Nanyembas, Tobias Hainyekos, and the many more freedom fighters who died fighting at the battlefront. It must remind us that the peace and the freedom that we enjoy in Namibia today was achieved. It was achieved through the bloodshed. President Geingob departed this earthly life at a time when he was still serving his country and the people as head of state and the government, as a freedom fighter, chairperson of the Constituent Assembly, minister, prime minister, president, and a political mentor to many. Comrade Geingob did indeed run a good race. His legacy should inspire us to continue to build from where he has ended, so that Namibia could continue on a positive trajectory in the fight against the challenges of economic development, unemployment, poverty eradication, and the effective provision of public services. We cannot talk about the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia without mentioning the name Hage Godfrey Geingob, because of his leading role that he played at the birth of our republic. When we were drafting the Constitution, his efforts should therefore inspire us to rededicate ourselves to the values and the ideals founded in our Constitution for the prosperity of our country and the people. Comrade Hage has left us too soon. There is a lot more that he could have done for our country and our people, should his physical health allow it. That notwithstanding, we recognize and value the countless contributions he has made towards the attainment of our freedom and independence, and to the social and economic development of our country. Our nation will remember him for his patriotic deeds and his contribution to the building of a new democracy after decades of subjugation and colonial brutality. Jamonas, although Comrade Hage Geingob is no longer with us, physically, his legacy will forever be remembered